Okay, apparently we're live on the Facebooks now. So, howdy everybody, my name is Jared, and while we're waiting for people to tune in, I guess we're going to do a little segment that we call Jared's Got Jokes. I have kind of a reputation for my terrible dad jokes around here with the third graders, because again, I do most of my programs for 3rd and 5th grade. So first joke, are you ready? Because I'm not. Why did the turkey cross the road? To prove he wasn't a chicken. App, 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 app. Why did the robin go to the library? To look for bookworms. App, 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 app. Do you know what owl? Nah, you don't want that joke. What other joke do we want? Do we have enough people here, Simone? Can I stop with Jared's Got Jokes? Are all the comments telling me I'm not funny at all? Perfect. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So on Tuesday, we released a video here on the ranch all about how to do a point count. So today, I'm going to do a point count live here in this pasture that we call the airstrip pasture. Now, the reason it's called the airstrip pasture is because we actually do have an old airstrip here where you could land like a Cessna or a bush plane. But this post right here behind me, this is what's called a index post. So this is part of the Texas Quail Index. So this is mile marker 0. So this is a post where we repeatedly do these types of point counts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sheet. Okay, now all of you should have seen that video, and if you haven't, you can go back and watch it. But basically, you need to set up a point. I'll put a little X where I'm going to stand. Then each one of these circles represents a distance, okay? And then you're gonna make marks from the different birds you hear calling as we go out throughout. So now I'm gonna turn and I'm gonna face north. See, I've got my little compass right there. So let me turn. This way is north, right? Now I'm gonna set my timer for 5 minutes, okay? It is 10:02, so I'm gonna write down the start time. Now you don't have to know what birds are calling. What you can do is just put an X, make different symbols for each different bird call that you hear, and then we'll kind of just see at the end, and I'll kind of try to point out and go through each individual bird. Remember, I'm not Christina, I'm not the ornithologist, I don't have the mnemonic devices like she does, but I'll do my very, very best. So let me get my watch ready to go, and 5 minutes starts now. That's 5 minutes. So Simone, were people able to hear some of the birds? You don't know. What kind of host are you? Jeez, help me out here. So in that 5 minutes, do you hear that one?
Yes.
Okay, that one they can hear, the cuckoo. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 species during that 5 minutes, which is pretty good. If we would have done this at sunrise, we probably would have had a bigger turnout. So when I marked my page, Simone, let me know when you can see it. Yeah, you can see it kind of looks like a mess. There's lots of different symbols there. That's what's really important with this, is that you can clearly identify each different bird that you heard. So I was using single letter codes, and then I was labeling them here with what they were. I was using the 4-letter abbreviations. So for X is field sparrow. Field sparrow is the one that sounds like a ball bouncing. You know how the balls go doo, 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 doo. So that was the field sparrow. We've got blue-gray gnatcatchers that sound like little baby birds. Their favorite candy is spree. Joke was for Christina. Then we had Carolina wrens. They're the ones that sing in triplets. Sometimes they say teacher, teacher, teacher. Sometimes it's Germany, Germany, Germany. We had a couple of those to the west of me, and I just pointed east. I meant to the east of me. Then we had a couple cardinals shooting their laser beams, doo, 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 and doing some chips over there again to the east. And then we had just a couple lesser goldfinches right at the end of the 5 minutes. The lesser goldfinch hopped right in this tree here and was doing his little happy, sad, happy, sad. And that's basically the end of my little mnemonic tutorial there. So not too bad. I think all of you kind of get the point. And if you do this at home, record yourself and then send us a link to info@bambergerranch.org, and we'll do our best to identify some of the birds for you, or at least double check what you've got.
Christina said she heard 13.
She heard 13. So in full disclosure, some of you that know me well know I don't hear very well, and I actually can't use my hearing aids when I'm doing birds because the tones that I can't hear interfere with the way the device works. It interferes with the actual ambient sounds out there. So, and again, I'm not an ornithologist. So 13, that's great. We'll get an official list from Christina since she tuned in live, and then we'll post that on our Instagram later today as well. And maybe some pictures of these birds as well. I think we can probably dig out a couple of the cool ones from our archives. So does anybody have any questions? Can we do that somehow? Mm-hmm. We're new to this whole Instagram live thing. Next week, Christina is going to do an urban bird walk from her place in Dripping Springs at 10 o'clock next Thursday.
Live.
So tune in for what?
Live.
Live. Okay, so tune in for that as well. Do we have any questions, or is everybody ready for the real reason everybody tuned in, the mindfulness exercise?
Christina says, give us a bird joke.
She obviously didn't tune in early enough.
No, she was asking for more at the beginning.
Oh, okay, let's see. What other bird jokes do I have? Oh, do you know what the funniest bird out there is? You don't? It's an owl, because they're a hoot. You know what bird always laughs at my joke? The laughing gull. I wanted to play the actual sound of a laughing gull, which is hideous if you ask me. It really destroys my eardrum. But we had to use 2 phones, so I couldn't do that. That's the end of my bird for now. I've got other jokes.
Sarah liked that one.
Oh, she liked that one. Do they want to hear the pizza joke?
I'm sure they do.
No, you don't want to hear the pizza joke, do you? It's just too cheesy. Okay, moving on. Is everybody ready for the mindfulness activity? Yes, I'm getting a handshake. So this is something that we really like to do with our campers and people that come out to the ranch for the first time to get a kind of sense of place. So we're not just the Bamberger Ranch Preserve. We have this moniker called Selah. And Selah means to pause and reflect. So we use it in many different ways out here at the ranch, but the biggest kind of way that we use that description is your mindset. Okay, when you're out here and you enter these gates and you're in our fence boundaries, we want you to really feel connected back to Mother Nature. So one of the things we like to do are just kind of these little stop, pause, and reflect exercises. So we're going to do one of the exercises that I've developed for our summer camp. So the key to this one is tuning everything out and tuning the natural world in. So you need to feel where you are. So make sure you have a nice solid stance. It really does help to take off your shoes, take off your socks, get grounded into the earth. And then you got to practice. And this takes a little bit of doing. I want you to open your eyes as wide as you can. Okay? Now close your eyes as hard as you can. Open as wide as you can. Now here's the trick. Let's take about 5 seconds to work on opening your eyes as wide as you can without straining your eyes. When you did this, you're under strain, right? So I want you to do this. So I should be able to hold this for about 10 seconds with my eyes open. They're open as wide as they can be without putting any strain on my eyes. And then I want you to pick a spot. Even if you're in your office, pick a pencil eraser to look at. I'm going to look down at this Amanita. And my goal is to just stare with my eyes, again, as open as they can be without hurting. And I'm just going to look at that. And I'm going to shut everything else off and focus right on that spot for 10 seconds, okay? And while I'm doing that, I'm going to inhale, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to exhale, 1, 2, 3, okay? So let's try it. 10 seconds. I heard those other birds, Christina. I hope you're proud of me. I'm so in tune with nature at that point. So now that we've done that, what I want you to do is I want you to take out a piece of paper, okay? I will use the back of my point count data sheet. And I want you to choose a scene, okay? I want you to just look out. So for me, maybe I'll face the same way you do. So I'm going to get out of the scene now, and I'm going to let you just tune into that. And I want you to now just draw a rough sketch of that. So draw the mountains that you see. You don't have to be an artist. When you see mine, you'll be like, what are those? That's not the point of this activity. It's not an art activity. We'll have one of those later. Told you, I'm not an artist.
Wait, a little more this way.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so that's the hills. All right, now I'm gonna put some of the trees in there. I'm not Bob Ross. My trees aren't gonna be happy trees, but they're not gonna be sad trees either. They're gonna be connected trees. Okay. Okay. Now, once you have a rough sketch of your scene, I'm going to draw the Amanita because they smell so good. Okay. Once you have a rough sketch of your scene, I want you to divide that paper into 4. Just like that. Now for 30 seconds, I want you to face the direction that you're, like, face this quadrant or face that. Okay? Choose a quadrant to face. And then for 30 seconds, I want you to close your eyes, okay, with that frame of reference in there. And I want you to draw what you hear, okay? So whether you are trying to draw a tree swaying or a bird calling or a bird flying, I want you to just take 30 seconds, okay? Just close your eyes and just let your hand go, all right? Starting now. close to 30 seconds.
I was paying attention.
Interns. Okay. So I drew the wind coming across the scene, and I drew what the bird was saying. Little annoyed little wren over there. And then I drew the field sparrow's ball bouncing up and down right here. So you don't have to be an artist, again, that's not the point of this exercise. Then you'll repeat this in one of the other quadrants, and then you'll keep going. And then you're gonna throw that piece of paper away. And you're gonna sit back down, and I want you to open your eyes again, okay? And I want you to pick a spot again. And now, instead of 10 seconds, I want you to go as long as you can without blinking. And I want you to see the difference in the sounds that you hear. I want you to feel the difference in how connected you are to the earth, okay? Now, a lot of times I'll do this outside right before I go to bed because it exhausts me in like the best possible kind of way. So let's see if I can just put myself to sleep. I've already probably put the audience to sleep. So again, I'm gonna focus down here on the Damanita, but first, because it smells so good, I'm gonna crush some of that in my fingers, and I'm gonna open my eyes. I'm gonna take a couple deep breaths, big blink, and let's see. Hurt. Lots of oak pollen, this wind. But I was able to feel that time, I was able to really feel the wind where when I first started that activity I couldn't. So hopefully you've gotten a little something out of this. I know in these strange times that we're currently at, just finding a little bit of green grass in your yard, or finding an oak tree in a parking lot somewhere, and just taking 30, 40, 50 seconds out of your day to just look at it, breathe, and just remember that this too shall pass, right? And open spaces like the Bamberger Ranch are hopefully going to be here for you forever. Parks and Wildlife, there's lots of state parks in the area. San Antonio, Breckenridge Park, Bamberger Park. Go outside, have your PPE on, respect social distancing guidelines, and just enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the wind, and enjoy the birds.
Christina asks, what's your favorite sound on the ranch?
My favorite sound on the ranch, that's a really good question. We have a cottonwood tree down by the lake that always claps for me whenever I walk down there. The way the leaves hit back and forth, it really does sound like an audience is like, oh, Jared's here, clap, 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 clap. So I just really love the way the wind interacts with the trees out here, and specifically that cottonwood tree.
How could someone do this in their backyard?
Oh, it's really easy. You just do the same exact thing that I did in your backyard, right? So just pick a spot. Again, even if it's just like an undesirable plant that most people would call a weed, but I want all the plants there because they're carbon sinks. So it's just finding a blade of grass. And remember, the key to this is really your breath and then getting your eyes adjusted. When you're concentrating on opening your eyes as wide as they can be without straining, it does something to your mind, okay? It just puts you in a different mood, and you just become a little bit more connected to your scene. So you should be able to do this even if you're just looking at a piece of rock or asphalt or concrete, even in your bedroom. Pull up a picture from our website gallery of a tree or a lizard, or one of Rusty's great photographs in Seasons at Selah, available now from Amazon. There's lots of great photographs in that book of this place. So it doesn't necessarily even have to be a backyard or a ranch or a state park. It could be a picture, but go outside and do it so that you can hear the sounds that are around you, okay? And then trust me, even if you're in the city looking at a tree, you'll be able to start tuning out the cars, tuning out, the jake brake on those tractor trailers. Your mind will be really, really connected with where you are at that moment. No more questions? Oh, fantastic.
People say thank you.
No, thank everybody for tuning in. This was a great experiment for us. We hope to do more of these for you, and we'll get some moments of Zen posted throughout this week, and you know, as we continue forward in quarantine, as the state starts to roll back open, and we have to remember these mindfulness little activities, even though they might only take you 30 or 45 seconds, are just really important. We're all in this together. Stay safe. Jared for the Bamberger Ranch Preserve, signing off. Thanks.